seems like we have to break down, lack of a better term, parent biases, when it comes to music. It seems like in the world we live in, we have, I hate to narrow down parents into two categories, but we have this, parent who will say, well, my child is just not musical.
Right.
That is not their gift, kind of thing. And I personally, my friends, again, who I love, they have sat down and told me, look, my child just isn't musical, and always play a little game with it. Partly because it's not that I want to prove them wrong. I want to show them that this truth that we believe, that all children are musical. So I'll say, well, give me a minute with your child for a second. And I'll start with one of our simple patterns, bum, bum, sol, do. And within no time, that child is mimicking that pattern. Then I'll go, bum, bum, bum. Okay, sol, mi, do. Those are our two basic things, Next thing you know, the child's mimicking that pattern. And if the child's old enough, if they're 6 or 7 years old, I'll take them over to the piano. And like right now, my youngest daughter is in keyboard 1. So I kind of mimic what keyboard 1 would be. So do something like Listen for Bells.
Right.
Bum, 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 And next thing you know, I've got them playing this song.
Right.
And then I look at their parent and I'll say, sure, they're not musical, and then all this takes place within like the matter of, 15 or 20 minutes.
Right.
So do y'all feel like that's a stereotype we would want to break down?
Yes.
I think a lot of parents confuse my child is not musical to my child doesn't, well, I hear my child shows no interest in music. And that's a deep question, because we realize, well, is it because you haven't shown it as something to be interested in? Or were you assuming that when you put on that opera that they would enjoy it with you? Or could it be that if you gave them a choice between running outside and playing versus sitting with you to hear music, will that, so we don't know how they came to that conclusion. It could also have been the possibility that they attended that one demo class and their child was the one running in the back of the room. And so therefore, he's not musical. He always does this in a class. And I'm thinking, yeah, well, he may not be mature enough yet to come to a space and sit, although inevitably that child will come running when I take out the sticks. However, these are different, but that's not what the parent's seeing. The parent is just seeing, I'm sitting here like a fool while this kid is running around.
Yeah.
You get back over here. You better sit on my lap or else. And suddenly, oh dear, here we go. And so we realize that there's the mindset. Music is to be done on a bench. And
it all comes back to that parent education that, you're talking about a really key point. I think that parents have a performance mentality. So parents are looking for performance as the measure. Yes. And we know that it's the process. It's not the performance, it's the process. So, and when you're talking about the child running around in circles during class, that was my daughter, and who is now a very accomplished singer, actor, and French horn player. And she, she was the one. If we were doing a circle dance, sometimes she was just lying down on the middle of the floor in middle of the circle looking up, and we're dancing around her. Like, there's Elise. Ask Kathy Matthews. Elise was in a lot of her demo classes and did that very thing. And afterward, I'd be like, I'm so sorry. And then Kathy would say, no, no, no. The teachers need to see that that's a response as well. And Elise was absorbing everything, and it doesn't matter whether they've gone to the corner or they're running in circles, or they're in the middle on the floor. They're absorbing all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And so the performance is never the measure, and that's a really difficult thing, I think, for us to get across to the parents. We are not judging, and we're not labeling. Everybody's going to do it at different times. They're going to come into it on their own time. I say that all the time. And that's why I don't want to compare. That's why when they come up to give patterns, I don't applaud. And I tell my parents not to applaud, because we are not measuring their pattern doing. We're not putting a label on that was good or that was bad. We're thanking them for coming up and giving that pattern. Thank you so much for making patterns with me today. And they can go back to their mom, and of course the mom can give the hugs and all the encouragement she wants. But we're not going to applaud that, because we don't want to label it at a certain level. Well, oh yeah, you were almost there. Hey, that was pretty good. Yeah. And we don't want to scare them. We don't want them to ever feel like that's a performance. So I think it's really a key parent education thing, that to go back to what we started saying, is all children are musical. So that parent, they can't make a judgment on their child and say, well, my child isn't musical. How do you say that? From what authority do you say that? And so often their measure can be misguided, and we want to just encourage them to understand it's for all children. This is for all children. So
and for that parent who is in that place, it may come down to saying, trust me, because I know where this is going.
Exactly.
I had a parent the other day, I'm now on her 4th child, and she's trusted me through 4 children.
Yeah.
And her comments was, in the beginning, I had no idea what was happening, but now I know exactly what's going to happen.
Right.
She had to see the full experience to understand this. The parents walking into our room don't have that full experience.
Nope, they don't.
Down to yesterday's phone call odd phone call. I picked up my phone, and this woman said to me, do you give piano lessons? And I said, yes. She said, well, I want to take one right now. And I looked out my window, and there she was in the car, talking and I said, well, I'm fully booked. She said, but I want to learn music now, like today, in that lesson. In other words, one lesson is going to do it. That's the mindset in today's world. We're going to learn it now, right here. I'm going to learn how to press those buttons, and then I move on. And we're showing them a whole cultural world that takes a long time. And I've got to get those parents to trust me that I'm putting them on the correct path, or the optimal path for their child. Yeah. And it's going to look kind of messy in the beginning. Yeah. Child laying on the floor, a child rolling over, a child looking at the outlet. Their brain is going, yeah, but how's it going to look 5 years? I don't, oh, they must not be musical. Let's do something. Trust me.
Yeah.
That brings back memories of sitting in a toddler class with my youngest daughter. She wasn't the one who ran around. She was the one who stayed with you the entire time. She did not want to venture out. She did not sing at all in the class. She didn't even want to go to the basket and get sticks.
Oh, boy.
She wanted her comfort space, which was with either sitting with me or sitting with my wife, and it really took until, I would say, the second semester of Music Makers at home, which for us, we know that's, ages 4 to 7 kind of area. So she was about 4.5 before she would start venturing out.
Yep.
My other daughter, she was entirely opposite. She's the outgoing one. She's the one who wanted to sing the patterns. When you come up with a stick to do the pattern, she wanted to do that.
Right.
It's just that was her comfort level.
Yeah.
The funny thing is they're both extremely musical, you know.
Yes.
Are they perfect musicians? No. But they have this great ability to learn, you know. So
Yes.
yeah.
And music is a vibrant part of their life.